A few weeks ago in children's message, I used the example of a water bottle. And holding the water bottle out straight ahead of you, the longer you had to hold that, the heavier and heavier it would get. So I love it because I had a couple of 3rd and 4th graders challenge that and say that it doesn't get too heavy. It's a water bottle. So then they shot me videos and sent them to me of them holding the water bottles out and saying that they had held it for a really long time. So then I said, okay, well then why don't you try a rock? And so we have this running joke right now of sending each other little snippets of us holding things out to see how long we can hold things in our own strength versus trusting in God's strength. So finally, we've come to the agreement that we can do life, we can do scheduling, and we can do craziness, and we can do COVID for a period of time on our own strength, or at least the illusion of our own strength. And then we feel like we can do it for longer and longer, and we'll just get through it if we also hold up, and if we also have our friends come over and hold our arm up, and if only we could. And so over time, it does get heavy. The burden of not knowing what's going to happen next, when and if we're going to be able to gather, what that looks like, what's going to happen now that school has started, what is going to happen going forth, right? So the burden gets heavier and heavier. I love to use the analogy of a backpack when we talk about sin and us carrying sin and how that gets heavier and heavier, and we try to just put it on ourselves that if we are just strong enough, good enough, that we can get past anything, right? That's kind of how our burdens are right now, as we keep trying to put all of our burdens in the backpack and try to carry them all by ourselves. You see, the thing is God doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to say, this is hard. This stinks. He wants us to reach out to Him and trust in Him instead of our own strength. You see, we can do it for a while. We can carry the backpacks. We can carry each other's backpacks. We can hold the bricks out. But the bottom line is, why should we have to? You see, there's a peace that only comes from knowing that God is in control. He's in control of whether we're going to have a pumpkin patch. He's in control of whether we're going to get to trick or treat. He's in control of what our Christmas Eve is even going to look like. You see, those are just trappings and things and routines and traditions that mean a lot to us, but that God has already planned what it's going to be like. We just have to trust into that vision, right? And we have to be okay with knowing that whatever God has planned for tomorrow, the next day, the next week, He doesn't want us to carry that alone. He doesn't want us to worry. He wants us to trust Him. So this week, I hope that you look for ways of things that are weighing you down and that you're able to just lay them at the cross and trust that God already has this. He already has a plan for you and I, and it's going to be beautiful. Have a great week.